Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you wanna give them love, then give them some more. Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to.
Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you
Give them more.
It's your favorite host doing the most, eating all of the boast. It's Mo Manifest tuning in, and welcome back to GivemoPodcast Season 4. We're on Episode 3. Before we get started, as always, it's the first 2 episodes in the past 4 years. Shout out to our current only sponsor, Trap Art LLC, Trap Art Clothing Co. Please make sure you check them out. Might have the link below for the Instagram and other things, but please make sure you reach out for dope hats and many more things. It's a lot of great things that my cousin come up with. So please make sure you check them out. It's your favorite sponsor, Trap Art Clothing Co. So we're into season 4. We're on episode 3. So we talked about making our universal deposits, and then we talk about taking our seat. So, I reached out to a good friend and was posed with one that goes hand in hand, which is consistency. But consistency could just be shallow, as it's a big ocean. Consistency can be anything. But he specifically said consistency and achievement. And that right there is one where it gets kind of, iffy. And the reason why I say iffy is because consistency and achievement is really, 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 really dependent upon the person and how they view achievements. So we made our deposits. Let's say our deposit was, I want to get a degree, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. We're taking our seat because now, we planted our seed. We're waiting for it to grow. Now the consistency is tending to the garden, so to speak. So if we want to get a degree, let's say it's a 2-year certificate, certifications or anything, then you kind of know that process. But it's not the timeline. It's more or less who are you within that time to make everything fall in line, right? So I know for me, I've done so many things. And so going to school for me took a lot of focus, not because I wasn't capable, but because a lot of times when you want to do so many things, you can lose track of what's important. You want to live your life. You want to have the social life. You got your work life. Then you got a school life. And then if you're in a relationship, you got a relationship. So how do you find consistency and achievement? Well, it takes sacrifices because you're not always going to be able to please every aspect of your life. If you got children, that's a part of your life. A significant other, that's a part of your life. Your personal life outside of that, your work life, and you got a school lives. Right there, we got 5 lives, and we can go deeper. So if school is what's on your mind, then something has to take a back seat. Normally, it's your personal and social life, and mentally, a lot of people not ready for that. But I say normally because I know people who have not only been able to maintain that, but also still keep the grades and stuff. It's really dependent upon the person, but we're not solely focused on just school. Consistency is understanding that in 30 days, consistency is not necessarily being there on top of the goal all 30 days. Consistency is knowing that you're working towards something and you never stop working towards it. So within those 30 days, you may plan a break. You may plan a time to take a little time off mentally, but at the same time, the majority of those days, you're constantly making sure that tasks are getting done to achieve that. Now, me, I am a master. I probably could have a PhD in procrastination. If you give me 30 days to do something and I can wait till the 30th day to do it, I'm probably going to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm that person. I always will be that person, I think. But the reason why is because normally when I do stuff early, it like leave a hole in my life. If I do it on the first day, the 15th day, the 20th day, then it's like, ah. So normally if I wait to the last day, it's because I actually want a challenge. But let me tell you something. Being a master procrastinator is not for everybody. If it works for you, do it. If it don't, get ahead of things. But the older I get, the more I realize that procrastination only prolongs things. So how do we stay consistent in life? Well, like I said, you got to pick and choose. You can't study. You can't be focused on one thing all the time. What is your outlets? I mean, you may have a demanding job. Your kids may be demanding. Your significant other may be demanding. You're only one person. It takes strategy and it takes time. But one thing you learn more or less about people who try to find consistency and achievement is when they get on the other side and they go through moments of reflection, they realize they probably put way more pressure on themselves than was warranted for the situation. And that's okay. But what's not okay is to go through a process and not find something on the other side. I feel like either you're gonna learn you knew who you were, or you're gonna learn new aspects about yourself. And that's okay. Like I said, when you hear the word consistency, it's not constant, right? Consistency is being able to see it through no matter what. But it's not constantly, meaning always doing it. Meaning if you got time, if you got days, you're consistently keeping up with these tasks, keeping up with things, stay on top of things. But you don't necessarily have to constantly do it. Being consistent is always showing up when it's your time to show up. But you have to know when your time to show up. And at 24-hour time, you're not supposed to be there for all 24 hours. And consistency can be every time you do work, it's top tier. Like you're constantly, consistently putting out this top tier work. Or, consistency is just making sure that you always show up. Like when it's time for you to do your part, you're always there ready, right? So when it comes to these achievements, we go back to these goals. And if you're a goal getter or a goal setter, you got your monetary long term milestones. You know what I'm saying? Monetary could be I just want to make an A on this next one, or I just want to get this studying done. Long term can be I want to make an A in this class. Milestone can be when you get the degree. And we only use in school because that time is more trackable. If we talk about consistency in life, then I'll show you a lot of people who have gaps in space. Like even if you're a go-getter, you'll have gaps in certain aspects of your life. And that's okay. Like I said, you're only one person. So don't beat yourself up about it. So when it's getting to these achievements, you always have to remember an achievement for you, it's not necessarily an achievement for me, right? And it sounds bad, it sounds shallow, but you know, one person getting, I don't know, a new car is nothing to somebody. They've already done that. That's not an achievement to them. It's like, oh, you're supposed to do that. But don't let nobody steal your joy. On the other side of that, within your consistency, consistently be you. And these times, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It causes changes within you. Stress always changes things. They got studies that show when you feed something positivity that it'll grow better versus when you don't feed it nothing or you feed it negativity. So I'm not telling you not to stress. Everybody has their own coping mechanism. But make sure you understand that as you're learning, as you're achieving things, remember how you felt on the other side. And that's why I try to approach things with as cool, calm, and collected as I can. I sit back and I see a lot of people that's constantly going through things. And what you realize is it's all perception based. Consistency is the same thing in achievement, where some people are going to fall short because they can't overcome the hurdles. And some people will never be satisfied because they're always on the path of achievement. And then you got some people that understand that their next achievement is just their next achievement, and that's who they are. Like it's a product of who they are. So when they achieve things, they may not know, they may not perceive it as you. Don't consider a person nonchalant or anything. Some people may be arrogant about it, but sometimes people just are so used to always being consistent and showing up that that's just who they are. So as we find consistency, and I say as we find it, most of us have to find it. But if you really think about something you accomplished, there was gaps and spaces and mental hurdles and juggling acts and so many more things that you had to do. So while you out here goal setting, goal getting, and meeting your achievements, just remember, it's okay. A lot of people will try to make you feel like it's not okay to not always have the answer or not always look like you're the person on top of things. The reason why I'm telling you it's okay is because you can't really put a time on these things. Stress come within time. I don't believe in the concept of time like others do. I see clocks and it helped me gauge the day, but I don't believe that, we always have to reference God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in. Only thing we force you to choose to believe in here is some level of inspiration. But I don't feel like God put me on earth to work so hard to allow someone else to minimize that. But remember, a lot of times our expectation comes from ourselves. And who you are on the inside will always come out. So if you're a caring, well put together person who's a goal setter and go get it, go get it. But one thing you don't want to get into is being comfortable and consistency. And the reason why comfort and consistency don't necessarily go together is because when you become comfortable, you become stagnant. When you become comfortable, you become constant, a constant same. Consistency is uncomfortable because even though it becomes a goal, even though it becomes muscle memory, you can't never settle when you're going to get this goal until you reach the point where the next goal is just something you're achieving and your achievements don't make you. So lastly, I say, if there's no substance in what you're doing, then you're going to consistently be achieving stuff that will not feed your soul. And the reason why I say that is because you may think you have this thing called life figured out and then get there at a young age or ahead of everybody else and realize while you standing on top of that mountain, it's thin air up there. It gets lonelier the more you want to achieve. It gets lonelier the more you add medals. It gets lonelier the more you put back patches on your chest because it becomes less and less people. But let me tell you something. I don't mind being in rare air. I hope you don't. So once again, it's your favorite host doing the most, and I love the boast. It's Mo Manifest, and as always, I hope y'all love that intro. My girl did a really good job with that. She did a really good job, and I hope y'all love this outro. But we'll be back to you. Make sure you stay consistent. Don't necessarily worry about the constants, and don't let nobody put pressure on you didn't ask for. I'm out.